Well, this is going to be the first of many tutorials that I'm going to record for you. Um, kind of to start off, what I want to do is kind of set up everything and first kind of tell you a little bit about Creative Cloud. Um, and then through that, I'm going to show you the capabilities through that by going through Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Photoshop, and Adobe InDesign. We may go in something like this kind of an order: Adobe Illustrator, Adobe InDesign, and then Adobe Photoshop. Um, so Creative Cloud, I'm thinking, I believe you probably have Creative Cloud, but it's located right up here. Um, it's just kind of sideways looking icon up here. Adobe Creative Cloud holds all your apps. So it has all the apps of Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, and so on. And you can pretty much download any type of app that you want or software program that you want. It also tells you when it's time to update. As you can see right here, Photoshop, it's time for me to update right now. So I would probably do that later tonight. Illustrator, InDesign. These are the main three that we're going to be concentrating on throughout this internship. So the way we're going to do things is I'm going to kind of show you Creative Cloud very quickly, and then we're going to dive on into Illustrator. I'm going to tell you the difference between Photoshop and Illustrator, and how you can kind of tell those apart. And then we're going to dive on into Illustrator, and then I'm probably going to give you an exercise to carry out this week. And then I'll probably post another tutorial and a little bit more in depth with the tools. So to begin, what I'd like to do is just kind of show you Creative Cloud here. So what you have is your apps. You can download any types of apps. You can also go to any type of learning tutorial right here. If you ever want to go on your free time, you just kind of can download these, and they're pretty awesome. I do these all the time. You can change whatever you want here. If you want to learn more about Illustrator, InDesign, Photoshop, anything really, you can kind of dive in there. Your files, Creative Cloud allows for you to store your files. So if I'm working with a client or if I'm working with someone from my team, then I'm going to post a file for that team member and I'm kind of going to like open up a folder, and I can download those and share that with my team member. Fonts. We're constantly going in here all the time as a team. So if I want to browse all the fonts, I just kind of come in here and I can browse those. And I can also figure out what kind of fonts do I want. So I can come in here. Do I want a sans serif font? Do I want a serif font? And we can talk about those at some point in time. We'll have a typography lesson, and I can kind of tell you the difference between sans serif and serif. Just quickly, sans serif doesn't have feet, and serif does have feet. So you can kind of see right here, these are feet and no feet. So sans serif, sans meaning without, so without feet. But anyways, kind of moving on. You can kind of pick whatever you want. We'll say we want a serif font, and we want to be able to have different properties and different weights. We'll go to a medium weight, maybe a little bit skinny or thin, and that's what you can get. It'll kind of give you the selections right in here, and then you can activate that font. So once I activate that font, then I've activated it in all of my programs, which is really cool. So we have fonts. We also have stock. So if I have stock, I can pretty much, search for anything. So if I wanted to search for, let's say, a house, then it'll pull that up, anything that is stock. Right now it's on videos. So you have the selection up here where you can change to images, and you can use any of these stock. So if I was doing something like, a real estate agent, and maybe they want this, and we can use this stock. We buy the license, and maybe we use this as a background for some sort of flyer for that real estate agent. Put the copy here and the body copy here, whatever this ad might be. Maybe it's a bookmark. Who knows? So, you have an endless possibility of different things that you can do. You also have videos, all different types of things that you can do. And you can kind of hover over it and it'll show you that video. So this can sometimes be really useful for like sliders, which are things within the websites that, is kind of at the top of your website. You also have templates, 3D different things, all of these right in here. But we're generally always going with images. So I'm going to close this. You have your stock, your fonts, your files, learn, apps, and then you have what's called Behance. Now Behance is going to be something that you might use later on when you're in college. And you may use something like this later on to create some sort of a portfolio for yourself. This is something to get really kind of into now for you to kind of dive in, get used to it. It could be really something interesting for you to kind of start adding things to it. But I'm going to let you get on this kind of on your own time. Don't need to worry about this now though. All right, so apps. So the first thing you need to do if you haven't already is I want you to go ahead and I want you to download the Photoshop app, Illustrator software, and InDesign software. Okay. Once those are downloaded, I want you to go ahead and you're going to have these 3 icons down here. This is your Illustrator, this is your Photoshop, and this is your InDesign.